Now what we need to do is we're going to round off this arm. So we're going to take off round it up a little bit. And clean it up. Get all the dark marks off. Doing a little bit of that when I was all we have to do is ears yet, but I need to find that other little tool so I can do that. Alright. And here we're going to just turn. We're going to turn this and go up. Just make a little bit of a U-turn there. See how I'm turning that up? And then come down to match that and take that out. Okay? And we're going to bring this down. That looks good. Now this could be a little deeper right here, so we're going to cut that out just a tad and come up underneath here a little bit. Get the other knife. There we go. That works a little better for bigger stuff. Alright. Now we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to just try to do it proportioned, you know, keep looking at it and turning it around. And alright. So, we're going to trim this off a little bit and get the dirt off of there, because when you handle it and you're using pencil to mark things down and you're erasing it all the time, it really can become a mess. Okay, now there are little hooks that I left. Usually, you know, where the string goes through, I left those on here. And I don't have a string, of course, going through there, but if it doesn't look right, you can always not put them on. That's up to you. I'm just adding a little more detail to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take care of the hand portion of this. Alright, take this down as far as I need to get it where I'm happy with it. Again, I go back and I recut all those edges to make them look a little deeper than what they are. Okay, and put a little V-cut into it, see? Just adds a little more dimension to it, just like if you were doing a relief carving. And you know, that's kind of what you're doing to the front. You're not doing anything in proportion to stuff at all. Now, I know these pants are extra big, but they're going to be green in color when we get done. They're going to be wading boots and all that. And that comes out across the front here, okay? Because we'll have a little bit of a lip. But here you won't see the pants because the arm is in the way here. So let's back this up a little bit. Alright, so what you want to do is bring this up and then go back and recut it at an angle to give it some depth. Okay, just like so. See the difference? When you do that, it does add quite a bit to your piece if you can learn to do that. Go back and recut and put it at a little bit of an angle and then kind of blend that in or whatever you need to do to make it proportioned right. So if there's a little bit too much of a bump, you just take a little bit of it off. Alright. Now, I don't know how many of you have fished before, but I certainly have. I remember as a kid we had a little lake or reservoir, and when we had lived in Jersey when I was a kid before we moved out here to Pennsylvania, and we had a nice little place that was about 3 miles away. You could get on your bike and take your fishing pole and go fishing, and that's what we did often. That's what I did often. Any chance I could, I took the bike out and went fishing. Okay, we're just going to round this up a little bit, bring this in a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good wrapped around there. Alright, now these little things, they go at the bottom of the pole where the string goes. Now, usually you don't see them round this way. They're usually round underneath the opposite way, but this is just supposed to have that look, you know. So I'm going to put little holes in them later with a little gouge, and hopefully I'll be able to do that. I'll bring these down a little ways and then worry about them a little bit later. Alright, we're just bringing these down. That one's already down, and this one here, this hand needs to go down away from the pole. Now, this is optional, folks. You don't have to put these in. I just wanted to try it on this one. Okay, so to put a little more detail in my piece and have a little more fun with it. Beginning to enjoy putting some detail in these. It adds so much more to your piece when you can do that. Alright, so here we're going across and we cut this down. And we need to bring his hand down a little bit. Alright. And bring it down here again. Okay. Okay, remember the planes we're talking about. And we're going to just put very little V-cuts at the very end because it's really wrapped around that pole pretty well. So we don't need to worry too much about showing a lot of the fingers there. Alright, see how it's coming along? And then of course this is the rod. We'll put a little hole there. It may be a couple of V-cuts to show that there's string in there. You know, it really is so much you can do with these pieces. Like I said, I don't like adding things. I don't like adding or gluing stuff together. I don't like taking 10 pieces into making a carving. I want to be able to take a piece of wood and put as much detail as I can from one piece. That's more enjoyable for me. Making stuff fit is not my thing. It really is not. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to round up this pole, this handle down here. And, you know, we'll put a little more detail on the pole a little bit later. Okay, but we're going to round this pole up. And that's what I want you to do all the way to here. Okay, I'm going to round that up. I'm going to work on the hand a little bit while I'm offline, and then we'll take it from there.